Hello you guys, welcome back to Channel Claire. Hope you're doing well wherever you are in this crazy world. And delving into the crazy world of Diddy in this case is just really wow. Okay, so they started yesterday with testimonies and such, and it was quite revealing. Diddy's whole family, even the kids, the baby mamas, everything, even the daughters, his twin young daughters, are at the courthouse in support of their father. And they're sitting in the courtroom. The daughters, especially, I feel a type of way that they're in the courtroom when all this foul testimony on their father's behavior over the years is being revealed. I just don't think it's a place for a child to be in a courtroom, especially with such sensitive information. I'm not getting it. But we know that the kids and the family are there for a reason. They're there to show their support because, in my opinion, if Diddy is to get off, they're going to still want to be able to be bankrolled by Diddy. So if you don't show up to support Diddy in his time of need, if he were to get released off of these charges, then you're for sure not going to be in his bag when he's back out into the public. And I also think it's a little bit of fear. And I also think that he's trying to garner sympathy with the jury. Like, look, my whole family is here supporting me, my daughters, my sons. How could I be this awful man that you're trying to make me out to be? So I think there's multiple things that they're trying to frame with his family being here at the courthouse. Today we have Cassie, who is making her way to the courthouse in New York to testify against Diddy. TMZ has already got her on camera. She is pregnant, it seems. So with all of this paparazzi, all the media and stuff bum rushing her, like, I'm sure her and her husband are concerned about that security because that's just a lot going on. But she looks good. She obviously is going to be going to testify against Diddy, and we know the defense is going to try to say that this was a mutual situation where both parties, both Diddy and Cassie, were mutually violent and or into this, for lack of better words, freaky stuff. And in my opinion, I just don't believe that. I saw the video of Cassie cowering on the floor as Diddy is kicking her as she's down with nothing to protect her herself, and then dragging her back into the hotel down the hallway while he's in a bathrobe. That in itself is just enough for me to see what the dynamic was between the two of them. Regardless of what Diddy and his defense team are going to try to say. Of course, it's the defense team's job to make Diddy look as best as he can possibly be and make Cassie look like she's not a victim in this case, where she definitely is. So this is Cassie walking in. We also got some reports yesterday of testimony of one of the dancers, let's say, who was revealing instances where Diddy allegedly was wanting the dancer to defecate, like do the urination in Cassie's mouth. And I am just like, are you effing kidding me? Are you serious? This man and his freaky fucking ways, and for me, I feel like it probably didn't even stop at that. Like, there's so much more that's going to be revealed in this case, and the fact that his kids are sitting in here listening to this. I believe I saw yesterday his two daughters got up while the testimony was going on about his behavior, his sexual behavior, and left the courtroom because it is too much. One of the sons was putting his arms around the grandmother because it is too much. Like, this shit goes deep. So trigger warning, just in case. I honestly don't know what's going to come up as we're talking about this. But they're back in court today. Cassie is set to testify. This is not going to be, I don't see Diddy getting off on this, but I also don't see him spending his entire life in jail, whether it's deserved or not. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this all pans out. And also to note, on the opening statements of the video that I was just referencing of Cassie, being shown on video laying on the ground, defenseless, and Diddy dragging her down the hallway after he had kicked her repeatedly. His defense team is saying that Sean Combs and his attorney, Tenny Garagos, said that this footage appears horrible, dehumanizing, violent, and terrible, but her client is not charged with assault. This footage appears. No, it definitely is. It doesn't appear. It is what it is. It's horrible, it's dehumanizing, it's violent, and it's terrible. It proceeds. She went on to say it's not evidence of trafficking. It's evidence of domestic violence, which is still, isn't that illegal? She later adds, you may know of his love of baby oil. Is that a federal crime? No. Why even add that? It's like they're trying to treat this as a fucking joke. And he's so lucky that cameras were not allowed into this courtroom so that people could actually see how he looks right now. They gave him at least that dignity to not have the public know what he looks like sitting in his jail jumpsuit, shackled up with his undyed hair all fuzzy and unkept. They gave him that dignity, and his team is sitting here acting like it's a fucking joke, talking about some, you may know of his love of baby oil. Is that a federal crime? No. But it is a crime for DV. That's very much so a crime. So the opening statement, if I were sitting there as a jury hearing that, I'm going to feel a type of way off the bat. I just don't think that was her opening statement did what it is that they thought it was going to do at all. Horrible. As a quick sidebar, I was on Twitter just trying to get updates on the Diddy trial, and this is, legal related. I just saw that Ryan Murphy, they released the poster and the teaser trailer for the new legal drama, All's Fair, and it stars Kim Kardashian, Naomi Watts, Niecy Nash, Tiana Taylor, Sarah Paulson, and Glenn Close, an all-star effing cast. It seems as if from the trailer all of these ladies are lawyers and they're in this law firm and they have clients who probably are going to be women, and they are taking revenge on men who have done them wrong. So I definitely think this applies to what we're talking about right now. The trailer looked top notch. It's something that I'm looking forward to at least watching the first episode and seeing if it grabs my attention. I think that all the ladies are very talented that have been listed in the cast. Kim has been showing her acting chops. She was just in a show with Ryan Murphy previously. It was like American Horror Story Delicate, something like that, where she was with Emma Roberts. So she did that with Ryan Murphy. She's doing this with Ryan Murphy, and I'm sure her skills have improved since then, but she's standing with some greats here. I mean, Sarah Paulson, awesome. Niecy Nash, come on. Glenn Close, what? And Tiana Taylor, I've just been seeing her in so many upcoming projects, so very proud of her. And I'm excited to see what's going on. If you haven't seen the trailer, try to possibly check it out. It's about 2 minutes, but for what I'm thinking, it kind of has some vibes of taking revenge on men, because it's playing the Chicago theme song, like he had it coming, dun, dun, he had it coming. So it has that song kind of remixed in it, so it kind of gives you the vibes of the plot of the show, but it looks good. It looks very good. It's something that seems to be original. I'm so sick of remakes here. I want original ideas in film and in television, please. So I'm excited for this, but that was just a little quick sidebar. Another sidebar as we wait for Cassie's testimony. I did not know that Kim Kardashian and her mom, Kris, are in Paris for the $10 million jewelry heist case. That is still ongoing. I had no clue. Thank you, Mom, for giving me the heads up. But they're in Paris because she's about to come face to face with the suspects who robbed her at gunpoint in that Paris apartment. And I remember her talking about it on her show and how terrifying it was and how she thought she was not going to make it. And $10 million, and that was years ago. So I guess they found the suspects, and so they're in court in Paris. Here's them walking into the courthouse. My mom was saying this is like a fashion show, but of course I wouldn't expect him or her mom to come out any less than what they have. They look great. It's sad that it has to be for this case that they're in Paris, but hopefully they can enjoy some other events, some restaurants, some good dinners, some good shopping as they are there for the case, and they get justice, because I just couldn't imagine being woken up out of my sleep with a gun pointed to me for someone trying to fucking rob me. The PTSD, my gosh, that is terrifying. That's like the stuff of nightmares, you know? So it was sad that she had to go through that, and I am truly hoping that she gets justice, because regardless, people have a lot of feelings on Kim and the whole family, the Kardashian clan. They have a lot of feelings on them and their wealth and how they use it. I get it. I get all of that. It's valid. Two things can be true at the same time. She didn't deserve to be robbed at gunpoint. That was not deserved. So I hope that she does get her justice. So we'll see how that case pans out as well. Okay, so back to Diddy. I just came across this TMZ post on Twitter. Apparently TMZ has obtained a never-before-published video of Diddy and Cassie in November of 2017 at a tropical villa in Punta Mita, Mexico. They were filmed having some fun under the sun, and this was before their relationship imploded. I'm like, how does TMZ get this ish? Obviously they paid somebody, but how? So that's this video of, it's about 4 minutes and 32 seconds long. You see Cassie and Diddy coming into the frame. Cassie does seem to have a pleasant look on her face. She looks to be comfortable. Diddy is there. You see him in his red shirt and glasses with chains, dancing, bobbing his head a little bit, doing his due. They look like things are peachy. He's grabbing her around her waist. She seems fairly comfortable, seems, but we all know what is given to the public. Things can be very, very, very different behind closed doors, especially when you are being mistreated. So you're trying to act in ways in which you're hoping, okay, this isn't going to tick him off. If I act pleasant, if I'm nice, if I'm this, that, and other, then he'll leave me alone. So who really knows what's going on? They're saying this was before their relationship imploded, but Cassie could be putting on an act for all we know, and she's just trying to save face so that she doesn't get, bothered with Diddy's mess. And now knowing all that was happening behind the scenes, my goodness, and what he was having her doing, I'm like, my gosh, what was happening in this Punta Mita villa when it got dark and all these extra people went home? It's just sad. It's sad. You see them here dancing and stuff and having a good time, but who knows if that's actual reality. So I wanted to show you guys that as well. It doesn't sway me on my feelings about Diddy and what he did to Cassie at all, just because they're here having a moment, is what we'll call it. This doesn't change anything for me in the slightest. Also, I did see that apparently Diddy's prosecutors were wanting this freak-off video played in court. And apparently I think his defense team is wanting it not to be played in court. I'm like, a freak-off video in court? Oh, he is lucky these cameras are not in this courtroom. He is so lucky. So apparently, and this is via TMZ, one of Diddy's freak-off videos showing himself and Cassie will be played in court despite the objections of Cassie's attorney, which I think is fucked, because if it's showing her in a sensitive, oh God, if it's being called a freak-off video, so we can surmise what type of state she's in, and then for that to be shown to the public, I'm like, come the fuck on. This is horrible. This is horrible. And the kids are sitting in fucking court. Oh my goodness. So apparently the prosecutors and Diddy's attorneys went back and forth with Judge Aaron Tuesday morning about how the video would be played in court. Cassie and Diddy's defense teams don't want the audio or video getting out to the public, so prosecutors proposed it only be played for the jurors, who will wear headphones. People seated in the gallery, including reporters, would not be able to see or hear the video. I think that makes it a little bit better because the public really does not need to be seeing Cassie or Diddy, for that matter, in that state. It's just not necessary. They can describe it, whatever. We don't need to see it. Prosecutors say they will enter the video into evidence this afternoon, so expect fireworks because Cassie is also expected to begin her testimony. The defense also revealed this morning they want to raise the issue of a Cassie bar fight, one that did not involve Diddy. What does that have to do with anything? Prosecutors argued it was irrelevant, exactly, but the judge agreed with the defense that it's relevant because the incident included alleged drug use by Cassie. Okay, so what? So what? They're all using drugs up in Hollywood. Mix it, drinking, smoking, drugging, that's what the fuck they do. They got nothing but time and fucking money, so of course there's drug use. A lot of it. I don't understand how this is supposed to sway us one way or another because she was using drugs and got into a bar fight. Okay, and what does that have to do with Diddy and Cassie in this trafficking case? Just because you want to say she was using drugs? Yeah. Okay, a lot of people in these situations were using drugs. It goes on. According to Diddy's attorney, Tinny Garagos, Cassie was visiting family in Connecticut and Diddy suspected she was cheating on him because she wouldn't answer the phone. It's probably because she got a moment away from his ass and was with her family and she was trying to just have some peace and be away from this madman. Apparently, Cassie was in the bar and she got into a brawl where she tried to K-word someone, is what this is saying. At least that's how Garagos, who is Diddy's lawyer, described it. I find that being very extra. I don't think Cassie was in a bar fight trying to K-word somebody. I just come the fuck on. The defense says the incident shows Cassie was using drugs outside of her eschewal relationship with Diddy, poking holes in the theory she only took the substances during freak-offs because he forced her. Why can't two things be true at the same time? Maybe she was using stuff recreationally when she was out and about, and the fact that when Diddy was having these freak-offs, he was forcing her to take substances to be in a different state, so she was easier to do what the freaky stuff he was wanting her to do. Like, I don't understand. So that's what we have for right now. We are awaiting Cassie's testimony, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot more information when that happens. So now we are on day 4 of the Diddy trial, and Cassie is going into her cross-examination. We had 2 days of the prosecutors questioning her and her giving her testimony, and we learned a lot. Shocking things. We learned about, and trigger warning, we learned about the dancers urinating in her mouth and her like throwing up and having to keep going to do certain acts. We learned about semen being put in places on Diddy's body from the dancers. We learned about Cassie having multiple UTIs in the prescribed medicine not even working anymore because she had it so many times, and I guess she built up an immunity to the medication. We learned about her getting sores like in her mouth, like on her tongue, due to friction of giving oral so much. We learned about her after she, got away from Diddy, wanting to unalive herself and walk out into traffic, and her current husband stopping it because she was just that fucked up, and she wrote a book that her mom helped her with, and she wanted Diddy to read it and go through the chapters so that he knew what it is that she had endured by his hands. And it's a lot of information that we're getting. It's a lot of information, and right now, as it stands, I believe that all of this they're horrible acts. Nobody should have to go through this at all. But I believe like his charges were S trafficking and like racketeering and RICO charges, whatever. And I feel like we haven't gotten to prove that so much. We've proven the domestic violence. We've proven, that he has had these kinks, not to kink shame anybody, but he has these kinks, okay? And that he has put his hands on her. However, this isn't a DV case, I don't believe. So I'm not sure if that's going to help where this case stands in getting Diddy to be in jail the way that they want. Like at this point, I'm seeing that Diddy, obviously his reputation is fucked. There are people who believe that Cassie, now that we know the undisclosed amount was $20 million for their lawsuit, there are people believing still that this was just a money grab. She took the money, yet she's still up here testifying. Why didn't she just leave after he R'd her? Those times. Like, of course people ask all these questions. I'm not asking these questions. This is what other people are asking because I understand the cycle of a DV victim. It takes, I believe from what I've seen in research, it takes about like a good 7 times before the person being DV'd leaves. It's a cycle. And especially just as women, we're always so hopeful and thinking that we can fix things or fix our men, and we end up staying a lot longer than what we should. So all of this is just horrific for her to have gone through, and just the days on end, like she was saying 48 to 72 hours of these parties, the freak offs they would be having, to leave her dehydrated and exhausted. She'd have to recuperate for a few days to get back. Like, this is crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. And the fact that the kids are in the courtroom, I understand that's their dad. I truly get it. And at the end of this, I know they might still be in their father's life because it is their dad. And I understand it'd be very hard to just stop loving someone, especially like a parent. But I do wonder what their true thoughts are on this situation and hearing everything that's gone down, especially his daughters. Like, my heart just goes out to them, and I'm showing grace to the kids because they still are kids. The baby mamas and the Diddy's mom and all of them, the accomplices, I don't have that grace and sympathy because they know very well what's going on, and it's very clear why they're there at the courthouse. But the kids, I show sympathy and grace for because it is still their dad. He's an awful man, but it is still their dad. So, man, this is not going too well for the prosecution, it seems. If we are trying to get Diddy put away for life, not so sure that's going to happen in this case. It is still very, very early. I am still firmly on the side of Cassie and Diddy being very wrong in all of these scenarios. They did also provide a extended clip of Diddy and Cassie in that hotel hallway that is like 15 minutes. It's just, they were going back and forth on like whether or not they were going to be showing this very explicit freak off video in court or if it should just be shown to the jury. So there's that as well, but this is just, they're trying to frame it as if Cassie was more involved and or wanted these scenarios that she was in and trying to make her less credible. I definitely see the strategy of the defense team, so we're just going to have to see how this all shakes out.